Unlock the door, turn on the hall light, tell yourself everything's just as you like. Hi there. We're glad you're here. We're really glad to be here. I'm excited to have this band up here. I almost never get to play with a band in this part of the country, so it's really fun to be here. And this rhythm section is new to me, but I hope I get to play with them again, that they don't decide after tonight that they're one and done. They're so good. It's crazy. I'm really lucky tonight. So anyway, if you don't know who I am, thanks for coming in trust. But hopefully we know each other a little bit. I've got my Bellows Falls Webelos shirt on. From the Big Red Barn just outside of Bellows Falls in Westminster. But Charlie and I, my partner Charlie and I, call it Igriarn because it lost some of the letters off the side of the Big Red Barn years ago, you know? And for years it was the Igriarn, but now I think it's just Arn. But it's still the Big Red Barn. But anyway. Anyway, I'm really glad to be here with a band of sorts tonight. Not usually my guitar player, usually my boss, but we're trading roles tonight. Mr. James McMurtry on guitar. I've got a couple of New Englanders up here with me, Jeff Berlin and Moses here playing, holding down the rhythm section. And we're gonna start off with a Richard Thompson tune, because why the hell not? Well, I'm so tired of working every day. When the weekend comes, I'm gonna throw my troubles away. If you've got the cab there, mister, you'll do alright. You wanna see the bright lights tonight. Meet me at the station, don't be late. And hold me tight. I wanna see Scroll through the bills, see if anything's late. Put a no record on, set the volume to 8. Turn off the lights when the record is through. Watch TV in bed, let it cast your blue. Leave the curtains open, let the neighbors watch too. When Morty comes around, grind up some beans, pour a cup of water into the machine, drink it hot at the sink, then rinse your mug clean, put it right back on the rack. Since you woke up alone 2 years ago, you've had the time to let her go. Yeah, living on your own ain't as hard as before. No one to tell you to shut the cupboard doors, no one to shake you awake when you snore, no one to say that's too big a pour, no one to tell you she's looking for more, no one to stay up pacing the floor, no one to show you what tears are for, no one to pack up, empty the drawers, no one to drive off in the night anymore, anymore. Roll down the windows, let the traffic noise in, let the evening air brace your arms, goose skin. Enjoy your cigarette dinner, making you thin again. Pick up a bottle on your way home tonight, unlock the door, turn on the hall light, tell yourself everything's just as you like. Since you woke up alone 2 years ago, you've had some time to let her go. Yeah, living on your own ain't as hard as before. No one to tell you to shut the cupboard doors, no one to shake you awake when you snore, no one to say that's too big a pour, no one to tell you she's looking for more, no one to stay up pacing the floor, no one to show you what tears are for, no one to pack up, empty the drawers, no one to drive off in the night anymore, anymore. Yeah, pick up a bottle on your way home tonight. Unlock the door, turn on the hall light. Tell yourself everything's just as you like. Oh, thank you. Well, a couple of friends, I hope you're familiar with them, a great songwriter, two of my best friends, Bonnie Whitmore of the Whitmore Sisters and Jamie Harris, who travels mostly with Mary Gaucher, a great songwriter. A few years ago, they decided that I needed a title, and that title was The Queen of the Bummer Jam. And, and I was like, I like that. I really like that title a lot, but why exactly Bummer Jams? Because they're like so careful about their words, you know, they're both writers. And Jamie, I hope you know her already, but if you don't, this is exactly how she speaks. Well, my impression of her. She was like, well, it's because when you play a new song, I'm like, dude, that's a jam. And then I learn it, and I'm like, man, that's a bummer. And I realized that that's largely true. But I realized the truest thing about it is that most of my toe tappers are really my saddest songs, and these songs that sound real thoughtful and slow and plodding and that you think are going to be really sad are actually the ones that contain a little kernel of hope. So Unconsciously, I've been working on some kind of law of averages. So we're going to start you off with some toe tappers that are secretly sad. But for those of you who are into subtext, don't worry if you're getting a little melancholic while also smiling and tapping your toes. It's normal. Brother who never writes anymore, an uncle who never mentioned before, a boy who didn't know left when you were born, a mom who leaves a child behind at the store. Life don't work out like the plans you'd drawn. Had yourself some dreams, now the wishing well's gone. Family can't make things work on the farm. Big city living can't keep you warm. 100 different ways of being alone. What you thought was true love left you wanting more. A girl sits alone on her living room floor. Boy turns away before he knocks on her door. And the neighbors don't ask what he's there for. Well, you think there's town, but there's no way to run. Things you used to love don't bring no fun. Sick of wishing every night you had so long. Called everyone you know, nobody's home. 100 different ways being alone. Got your girl on his arm. That careless thing you said caused so much harm. Hey, nothing's the same as where you come from. Still that beat you're walking to ain't such a different drum. Well, you tried to be a new voice, your song ain't your own. Tried to make a mark, but you're still unknown. Tried to take a chance, never has flown. Left nothing here for you. Rag and bone in 100 different ways. Being alone. Thank you. Speaking of those moments of hope, when I put out a new record at the end of the summer, one of my longtime supporters in Oklahoma sent me this note. And she said, "BettySoo, I got to tell you that, I love the record and stuff, but what I really want to tell you is that this was the first time that I was able to send your record to my daughter because I wasn't worried, and I wasn't worried." And I forgot to clarify with her if that meant that she had never before sent a record because it worried her, or if she always sent a record but she was kind of worried before. But anyway, I was like, "Worried?" was all I replied with. And she said, well, your records are generally kind of sad. And I said, well, yeah. And she goes, but this one's got so much hope in it. And I said, it does? And I went back and I looked over it and I was like, you're right. There's so much hope in the new record. I had no idea. So this song's from the new record, but it's not one of those. So. If there's someone waiting, counting minutes ticking by for a ring to come through, for your voice on the line, there's a message sewn in secret with the strings of her heart, trace lines left by Cupid's needle when you're feeling far apart. Why would I wanna know? Why would I wanna know? If there's a memory made with her, held in your mind so dear, some memento you treasure hiding in plain sight round here, some keepsake you touch when I'm not around, you lose your breath from missing someone in another town. Why would I wanna know? Why would I wanna know? Why would I wanna know about a heart split in two? Why would I wanna hear how well she understands you? Why would I wanna feel like I'm playing the fool? Why would I wanna know for certain we're already due? Why would I wanna know? Why would I wanna know? Well, truth ain't always a gift laid out in the light. No, some things are better kept in the dark at night. Your fingers flutter across your lips like they belong to someone else. You're humming old love songs like you think you're someone else. Never leave the room without picking up your phone. I'll never ask you to say what's bound to only hurt us more. Said no strings at the start, but that was years ago. And I don't wanna know. No, I don't wanna. Why would I wanna know about a heart split in two? Why would I wanna hear how well she understands you? Why would I wanna feel like I'm playing the fool? Why would I wanna know for certain what I already do? Why would I wanna know? Why would I wanna know? No, I don't. Said I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know. Thank you so much. This next song is actually written by the people who gave me that title. By Bonnie Whitmore and Jamie Harris. And when the two of them wrote this song together, at the time I was singing in both of their bands. And at the time, they both lived in Austin, and now neither of them do. Jamie moved to Nashville, and Bonnie moved to LA. kind of strange to think about now, but at the time, they were both living in Austin. I was singing in both of their bands, and they wrote this song together. And I was like, oh, you guys, that song is just like dripping with hit juice. I gotta like learn that song. And then, of course, soon after each of them started playing it with their own bands, they started playing it very differently from each other. And so each week I was like switching gears and playing it 2 different ways. And it was a little bit confusing, but fun. But I got my ultimate payback because I combined their 2 versions into my own strange hybrid 3rd version, and both of them have had to sing it my way, which is very satisfying. Yeah, exactly. I know, what an asshole move, but it was fun. And then the greatest thing, I mean, I'm not actually really proud. I was raised in Spring, Texas by conservative Korean Christian evangelical fundamentalists, so shame runs deep in my bones. But so I only kind of have a fake mirth about this, but my fake mirth is that just before Bonnie left town, one of her last band shows at the Continental Club in Austin, Texas, her rhythm section, which is my same home rhythm section, messed up and played it my way at her gig. And she said, and she told me about it later, and she goes, I couldn't even complain, because once they played it, I went, yeah, that's better. I was like, that's a good friend, because she probably doesn't believe that. It's not like she changed the way that she does it, but that's a good friend to tell you that, you know?
When we first met, it was sickly sweet. I looked at you and you looked through me. No secret I could hide or keep. No, we both knew we were in too deep. Well, you light that match just to feel that spark, and it's a beautiful thing to watch it fall apart. It burns, it fades, and you're left in the dark, and all that's left is a broken heart. Are you okay, honey? Or are you looking for the exit sign? Are you coming with me? No, whatever you decide, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Hey! Well, is it worth the wait? Should it be forgotten? 'Cause it's not the first time that I've fallen. When you're tattered and bruised, looking up from the bottom, do you hold him close just because you've got him? Are you okay, honey? Or are you looking for the exit sign? Are you coming with me? No, whatever you decide, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Would I rather be lonely and change my mind 1,000 times if you could just hold me? Maybe that'd be alright. Is that okay, honey? Or are you looking for the exit sign? Are you coming with me? No, whatever you decide. Are you okay, honey? Or are you looking for the exit sign? Are you coming with me? No, whatever you decide, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Yeah. Thanks to Deb and all of her hard work putting this event together. Also, that hat, the winning hat, so excellent. So excellent. I'm so impressed by that. And for all of you other hat entrants, come on. Come on. It's so cool looking out here and seeing all your beautiful hats. But also, you must have known that the most feral, truly wild-looking hat was going to win. The one that looks like that could not have possibly been crafted by human hands, but by nature itself. Look at that thing. It's so majestic. The kind of hat where you're like, if I put this on my head, will it smell bad? And if I wear it for 6 hours, will I be infected with something? That is the kind of hat that wins at Woodstock, you guys. Deb may not hire me again for this, but I kind of want to come back and see if you got the rest of you up your game in ferality. I don't know if that's a word, but yes. I like this. I like this. Bring it, you guys. Less dainty, fairy pretty. More truly a bird saying, did that woman walk off with my home? More of that. Do it. I'm so impressed. I mean, you walked up here and I was like, how? How did she do it? It's so cool. Anyway, this is not to besmirch because I've been admiring the other hats. I have, truly. And then I saw that one and I was like, that's incredible. Do you notice, besides her friend, nobody is sitting near her? It's that good. It's that good. Aim higher, everyone. You can do it. I believe in you, Woodstock, Vermont. Well, this next song is for anybody who is doesn't stay at the Hampton Inn, who stays at what I lovingly call the ex-Cono Lodge. Or the Roachway Inn. Or the Bad Days Inn. Or the, what else did I come up with? I can't remember. Discomfort. The oh no, is that what you said?
The Eco No Lodge.
I have not heard that one. It's
Anyway, there was one night that my beloved Charlie and I were staying in a place, and we were not sure if the people next to us were going to survive the night, or if one of them did, if we would. And it's nights like that that brought about a song like this. Hammer to the heart, driving point right through, stealing soft line, and I'm losing. Can't find the fix, can't stop the falling apart. If we could pull it all together, make it work somehow. Love and anger, why did we ever vow? The worst, we're poorer for sickness, till death do us part. Well, go ahead, light it up. We know how to set a blaze what's left of us. Come on, baby, I got a match. Light it up, light it up. Had your back till you didn't have mine. Not the way you tell it, you're probably right. It's a loser's bet when your money's on hearts in the game. Now someone's screaming, someone's crying, someone in the next room hears love dying. Cheap motels offer so much to set aflame. Well, go ahead, light it up. We know how to set ablaze what's left of us. Come on, baby, I got a match. Light it up, light it up. You got things left unsaid, tired and mad, flashing red. Drop the spark and watch the flames climb high. And go ahead, light it up. We know how to set a blaze what's left of us. Come on, baby, I got a match. Light it up, light it up, light it Thank you. Josh, could I get a little more of my vocal in my monitor? And could we get a little more of my guitar in stage left wedge, please? I think I'm having an allergic attack and my voice is slowly getting quieter, so I'm sorry about that. But Josh, if you could just give me a little more, that would be great. Well, I think tomorrow night in Bellows Falls, Dave Alvin and Jimmy Dale Gilmore are going to be there. And maybe the very next night, I'm not sure, down in Bond, Massachusetts, my friend Terry Klein is going to be doing a little house concert. There's all kinds of great music happening in the area. But a long, long time bandmate of Jimmy Dale Gilmore is a good friend of mine and one of my favorite all-time songwriters, a guy from Lubbock, Texas, who a lot of us who are his friends, we say with only half joking in our hearts that he's actually a space alien, that he's not actually from Lubbock, he's not of this planet. And it's helped along by the fact that anytime you have an extended conversation with him about things that are going in unexpected ways, good or bad, at the end of it, he goes, "What a planet." And then he goes, and looks at each of you in the little circle that you're standing in, and part of you is like, "Are you saying that because you're not from this planet?" I'm not really a conspiracy theorist or a person who's very X-Files-y, but he's the one person that I'm like, is Butch Hancock from another planet? James, what? He is, right?
Well, they have hybrids out there around Lubbock. But they pretty much take UFOs for granted. UFOs get lost out there.
The
And that's
lights,
what happens. You end
the
up
lights of Martha.
Well, that's the way. That's a different deal.
But,
But out there between Lubbock and Hobbs, New Mexico, yeah. A friend of mine from Hobbs said, "Yeah, UFOs get lost out here, man." So they get stranded, and then we have these hybrid things like Butch Hancock.
Butch Hancock. Well, I remember when I started covering this song many years ago, one night I looked out into a theater not about a similar size to this, and also an old historic theater, and I looked out, and right in the middle of the room was Butch Hancock. And I was halfway through the song, and I was like, "Oh, okay, be cool." And finished the set or whatever, and afterwards Butch came up to me backstage, and he said, "I seem to recall that when I wrote that song, it had 4 chords in it." I said, "Yes, it did." And he said, "But when I watch you, it seems like it now only has 3 chords in it." And I said, "That's true." And he said, "You don't think it needed the 4th chord?" "What do you say?" I was like, "Maybe." And he said, "You could be right." And then he turned around and walked away. It was the most ambiguous conversation I've ever had with Butch Hancock, and that's saying something. The next conversation we had about this song, he came up to me after a show and he said, "You sing that song with a lot of foreboding." And I said, "Well, Butch, it's one of the most poetic songs about it, addiction and death and the struggles of this life that I've ever heard." And he goes, "Interesting, I thought it was just about choo-choo trains." No. And his wife went. And that was the end of that conversation. So I've had 2 very confusing conversations with Butch Hancock about this song. But this is, of course, his famous song, Boxcars. Well, I gave all my money to the banker today. Now I got no more money to spend. The banker smiled when I walked through the door. And when I left, he said, "Come back again." And I watched those lonesome boxcar wheels turn down the tracks out of town. It's on those lonesome railroad tracks I'm gonna lay my burden down. Well, I looked for my old man at Lost and Found, but he'd already been claimed. And I'm gonna find me another ticket to ride to a town that ain't never been named. Well, nobody cares where I'm going tonight. And darling, if the truth be told, I'm going down to that railroad track. Watch them lonesome James. Was raised on a farm the first years of my life. Life, it was pretty good, they say, and I'll probably live to a ripe old age. If that dirty dog death will stay out of my way, well, this world, it can take my money and it can take my time, but it sure can't take my soul. So I'm going down to that railroad track, watch them lonesome boxcars roll. Well, there are big old Buicks parked down by the Baptist church, Cadillacs at the Church of Christ, and I'm gonna park my camel by an old haystack, and I'll be searching for that needle all night. Well, there ain't gonna be no radio tires turning down the streets of gold, so I'm going down to that railroad track, watch them lonesome boxcars. Well, if you've ever heard that whistle on a fast freight train, beating out a beautiful tune, and if you've ever seen that cold blue railroad track shining by the light of the moon, and if you've ever felt that locomotive shake the ground, I know you don't need to be told why I'm going down to that railroad track, why I'm going down to that railroad track. Said I'm going down to that railroad track to watch them lonesome boxcars roll. Thank you so much. That song ain't about choo-choo trains. Well, here's another song by another hero, another Texas hero. This is a song from somebody near my hometown. Long time nicknamed the Houston Kid because of the Houston Kid. An old song by Rodney Crowell. this look like Bobby D? I wanna love him, but I don't know how. I'm in the bottom of the jailhouse now. I ain't living long like this. No, I can't live it all like this, can I, baby? You know the story about the jailhouse rock. Go on and do it, but just don't get caught. They got 'em all in the jailhouse, baby. Ain't living long like this. No, I can't live it all like this, can I, baby? He's in the jailhouse now. I always felt like that song should have been a live fade song. That's how I do it with my band, because I always feel like, well, now they're in the jailhouse. What else you gonna do? Well, I'm sorry about the deterioration of my voice as the night goes on. I could not have anticipated this. But, oh, I'm glad. I'm so thankful. Thank you. Surprisingly, we're going to end this set on a on a fast, sad song. But don't worry, we'll come back with a rockin' song about natural disasters. So there's much goodness that awaits you. But hopefully this song will drive you to drinking. So after this song, we hope you'll all go out and visit the bar and find something exciting to drink and come right back. Let's give another hand to this great band backing me up. James, who hasn't played sideman in 30 years, McMurtry. Mr. Jeff Berlin back here, and Mr. Moses over here on the bass. Don't look me in the eye. When you say your sweet lies, don't place your hand in mine. When tomorrow you fly, it's all come down to boxes, books, guilt-laced looks. It's your truck full in the drive. And it's all come down to names and faces, places we've never been. It's come down to goodbye. No use trying to explain. The sky is never the same. summer succumbs to autumn's flame. And it's all come down to boxes and books, guilty, sorry looks. It's your truck full of drive. And it's all come down to names and faces, places we've never been. It's come down. And it's all come down to boxes and books, guilty, sorry looks. It's your truck full in the drive. And it's all come down to since we've never been. It's come down to goodbye. And it's all come down to piles of paper, postcards from the wasted years. And it's no more one less try. And it's all come down to rings on the table and debts you can't ever pay off. And it's come down. Yeah, baby, it's come down to this. Hey, it's come down to goodbye. Thank you. We'll be back in just a little bit. Maybe I'll get my friend James to sing a little extra. I'll see you real soon.
Honey, don't you be yelling at me when I'm cleaning my gun. I'll wash the blood off the tailgate when deer season's done. We got one more weekend to go, and I'd like to kill one more doe. So I'll shovel the sidewalk again, 'cause you're still in a stew. I'll bet the bridge tender's widow won't mind that I can't please you. She's sure got the run of the men out here where the pickings are thin and there's not much to do. And I woke up last night in the grip of a fright, scared to breathe for I might make a noise. For this life that we crave, so little we save between the grandparents' graves and the grandchildren's toys. And we grew up hard, and our children don't know what that means. We turned into our parents before we were out of our teens. Through a series of Chevys and Fords, the occasional spin round the floor at the Copper Canteen. Now the big boxes out on the bypass are shaving us thin. I guess we can hold on a couple more years till the pension kicks in. Then we'll sell all the stock stock in the store. Leave only the lock on the door and wonder what then. When I wake up at night in the grip of a fright, and you hold me so tight to your chest, and your breath on my skin still pulls me back in till I'm weightless, and then I can rest. So if Monsignor should pull you aside as you're leaving the church, and I'm out on the ice dropping lines for the walleye and perch, tell him it's not your job to bring me to the fold, and I'd rather stand out in the cold. And honey, I know the wood pile's low and we can't close the flue, so I'll split up a couple more chords for the winter time's through. Hold on to your rosary beads, leave me to my mischievous deeds like we always do. Calls for some comic relief after that, probably. This is called Pinocchio's in Vegas. I know it's a dubious concept. Pinocchio's in Vegas with his eye on the prize. He's a real boy now. His dick grows when he lies, but his face stays frozen like it's still made of wood. It displays no emotion as he cleans them out good at that backroom table. Most any Friday night, he don't even need the money. He's just in and out of spite. He misses old Geppetto, gone now 2 years. The boy's spending real money, and he's crying real tears. You'd have thought it'd been a straight and simple untaxed estate. It was nearly out of probate when it blew up in his face. There were whispers in the shadows all around the town. Heretofore unknown relations old Geppetto got around. Who were my grandmother's friends? Used to play bridge every Tuesday at 10. Who were the neighbors next door when I was still crawling on the floor? When the claims came to light, Pinocchio was blue. The lawyers had a field day just like they always do. First they tried to fleece him for a rainbow's worth of gold. He had to sue Walt Disney over copyright control. He got less than he wanted, more than they'd give. Both sides are bitter, both sides will live. Who were my grandmother's friends? Used to take me fishing every now and then. Who were the neighbors next door? Who all did we lose in the war? Snapping peas on that front porch step, untake them watermelon rinds, toss them over the horse-lock fence, go wash up and quit that crying. Pinocchio's over it. He don't beat up on himself. He's had to learn to be an asshole just like everybody else. Where the dogs eat the dogs and the cats eat the mice, You pick a hill to die on, don't bother acting nice, 'cause that won't serve you well at the end of the day. They don't have to come and take it if you give it all away. Who were my grandmother's friends? Used to play bridge every Tuesday at 10. Who were the neighbors next door when I was still crawling on the floor? I say, who were my grandmother's friends? Used to take me fishing every now and then. Who were the neighbors next door? I can't call you up and ask you anymore. Let's bring everybody back out.
Thank you for your patience. You guys are so nice, and it seems so fitting that in Vermont, when you have a weird allergy or whatever it is on set, that somebody rushes to the green room with a handful of tea bags that are all like organic reishi mushroom and turmeric ginger, and it's like the healthiest tea assortment ever. I feel like my body has more, I don't know, adaptogenic, positive herbal remedies in it than the entire state of Texas. It's and local honey. That's true. It had local. I have to tell you, there's a story. There's a long time wonderful public radio station in Austin, which we all got to support our public radio, and right? Especially since we used to all support it in multiple ways, including through the taxes that we paid. But they used to do the local radio station in Austin, public radio station, used to do these little local anecdotes in between news stories where people would talk about, a very Austin type story. And they once recorded a story from me that they didn't end up airing because they felt like the point was ambiguous. And I was like, well, there wasn't a point, it was just a story. And the story was that I used to ride the bus a lot in Austin because for the first few years I lived there, I didn't have a car. And which I do not recommend living anywhere in Texas without a car, by the way. But I didn't have a car, and I would ride the bus a lot. And there was one day I was riding the number 1 bus, and this guy was had papers, and he was rolling some things for enjoying later. And a cop got on the bus, and he was walking by the row, and he goes, "Come on, man." Looking at him like, "Do you have to do this right out in the open?" And this was this is 25 years ago. This was way before, people got cool with everything everywhere. And he goes, "Come on, man." And the guy rolling his little J's looks up and he goes, "Come on, man." And so they're both looking at each other going "Come on, man." And then the guy rolling, he's still rolling, and he goes, "Give you one?" And there are only 2 other people on the bus. And the cop was like, and so the guy finished rolling it, and he put it in a little baggie. And the cop's like, "Try to hide it next time, man." And he's like, "Okay." That was my story. It never got aired. And the radio station felt bad about it. They called me, and they were like, "We just want you to know that we really liked your story, but we're not going to air it because we feel like the Austin police might get a range of reactions." And I said, "That's cool." But I do remember one of my favorite little anecdotes was this woman who worked at one of the food co-ops in town, and she said one day this very pink sorority girl comes in one day, just dressed head to toe in pink. And she was like, now I'm looking for some diet honey. And she's like, I'm not sure what you mean by that. And she says, well, I mean diet honey, like honey for people on a diet. And she goes, well, I don't know what that is or if that exists, but if it does, we don't sell it because we don't really sell like diet products. We only sell things that are made from natural things. And she said, yes, you do. You definitely sell it because my sorority sister got it here at this store and we have it at the house, but we're out and I need some. She said, it's so good and it tastes just like normal honey, but it's diet honey. And the woman is like, I really don't think we have that, but I will take you to see all of our honey. Just see what we have. And they go over and they see the bulk honey and they see all the little teddy bear honeys in the jar, And then the girl goes, you have a lot of it. It's right here. Low-cal honey. Packing up their cars and headed down the highway. 95 miles never took so long. Didn't have much time, pick the 2 favorite things you could carry. And pray you don't run out of gas for the wind gets strong. And who knows, there will be a place to come home to, and who knows if the nails and plywood will hold, and who knows if it's any safer where we're going to, but it's west and north for now. Taken for granted, a housewife you only noticed for her clothes. Told you she was angry like a man, you're laughing at her, saying how pretty she looks before she blows. And who knows, there will be a place to come home to, and who knows, the foundation we dug will hold, and who knows if it's any safer where we're going to, but it's west and north for now. To come home to, and who knows if the nails and plywood will hold, and who knows if it's any safer where we're going to, but it's west and north for now. Yeah, it's west and north for now. And who knows start over. When you know it's time, start again. How do you do it? How do you take that first step out the door and do it without knowing what those steps are for? When you know it's no good, what you've been holding fast. When you know it's killing you, trying to make things last. How do you do it? How do you take that first step out the door and do it without knowing what those steps are for? It's times like this I wish I could close my eyes and disappear. Held tight and still for once and safe, hidden from my simple fears. And find you, rewind to easier days. When the promise you believed turned out to be a lie. When the cup is running over, but it doesn't satisfy. How do you do it? How do you take that first step out the door and do it without knowing what those steps are for? Well, it's times like this I wish I could close my eyes and disappear. Held tight and still for once and safe, hidden from my simple fears. And find you, rewind to easier days. Thank you. My Charlie brought my Vermont guitar. All the way from Bellows Falls, just so I could have a second guitar to play this one song. I didn't write this next song. But it's still pretty good. I'm just gonna continue to try to give my guitar player some exposure. Because everybody needs a chance. Because that whole bootstraps thing is a myth, you know? You know, that phrase originated because it was impossible. That was the whole point of that phrase. I'm sure you guys know that because you're actually like literate and shit up here. But that was the point of that phrase, was that it was impossible, that if you're pulling your own shoe, you can't go anywhere, you know? But that's why I decided to help Dear James out, because his songs could use a little audience, and I felt like maybe no one would ever hear this song if I didn't cover it, you know? Just kidding. No, I always loved this song, and I always thought it could mean something just a little bit different if it was done as a duet. And lucky for me, he seemed to think that was an all right idea and recorded it with me for the new record. So here you have it. A James song transformed. Not a hot cup of coffee, nor a cold glass of tea ever crossed your lips in my company. Straight bourbon whiskey was all we'd abide. So let's not hold back now. We got nothing to hide.
So much we savored, yet so much we missed. You know I never meant you to see me like this. Just a faint distant flicker from the last of the storm. Now a taste of that liquor could do me no harm. Light me a candle, light me a fire. Come sit by the window with the shade drawn to the best of intentions and the worst of desire. Leave by the Gulf Road in the gray dawn. cover my bones when the west wind blows. Smooth it off even, pack it down hard. I'll no more be here, but I'll never be far. I'll no more be here, but I'll never be far. Light me a candle, light me a fire. Come sit by the window where the shade draws. To the best of intentions and the worst of desires, leave by the Gulf Road in the gray dawn. Leave by the Gulf Road in the gray dawn.
Hold on a second, sorry.
Yeah, I get to sing a bunch of her songs this time. By the time we got to Richmond, I knew you were somewhere else. Your mind was reeling down a different road. You could see through what I felt. By the time we pulled into Charlotte's, threw our bags on the bed, I hadn't said a word in hours. You had torn your nails to shreds. And it's dark with the blackouts drawn tight. You can't tell from here if it's 10 in the morning or the middle of the night. We're gonna lie here together like nothing's wrong. The window unit moaning its own sad song. And it's dark, baby, it's so dark with the blackouts drawn.
By the way you veered into that lot and dragged so hard the ashes raised to your lips. Well, I knew you had so much to say, you just couldn't find the words. Do your anger justice. By the way, I know I haven't said enough that I believe in who you like the bottles in the back seat of your car. It's dark with the blackouts drawn tight. Can't tell from here if it's 10 in the morning or the middle of the night. Gonna lie here together like nothing's wrong. Metal window unit moaning its own sad song, and it's dark. Baby, it's so dark with the blackout strong.
We're gonna lie here together like nothing's wrong. The window unit moaning its own sad song, and it's dark. Baby, it's so dark with the blackout strong.
Thank you guys so much. Well, we just have a few more for you tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting Pentangle Arts. I've got such cool stuff happening. I was looking at the calendar a few weeks ago and saw stuff just popping up, new stuff and new stuff and new stuff, and they're programming so much cool stuff for your community, and you're really lucky to have it. Ooh. Hold on. And it's not all hat contests. But we all know what we expect next year. And if I can't make it up, I'm gonna send spies. My friend Charlene lives right here in town. She brought no less than 6 bricks of cheddar from Billings, the Billings Museum farm. And if you think she's not gonna tell me whether or not you guys brought some feral hats next year, you're sadly mistaken. Henry and me, we got a good thing together. Back in '98, we left for warmer weather. Just kids with fake ideas. Houston was big and we could disappear. Neighbors don't bug, don't even draw near. We can bust it out to Shreveport. Meet with Jimmy and see what he sold. And if they're playing in town, we'll see a little band of gold. Try your luck at the slots, sleep all the way home. The station's just a 2-mile walk from my door. We never leave a car at the Greyhound lot. Henry says you might as well leave it unlocked. Henry's always got us a new set of wheels. Loves to strike his own kind of deals. This one's hot out of Phoenix. He'll roll it slow, make a show. It's the '65 Ford ballet tag on the floor. We're gonna go downtown, cruise it around, drive it to the coast, leave it for the beach folks. Trading for a wagon with a picnic in the back and see what kind of toys the kids dig these days. Then we'll throw them out the window on the Gulf Coast Highway. So much trash out there, no one could tell anyway. Sunday night, I always call home. It's always Mom who picks up the phone. Tell her I'm good and I'll visit soon. Same thing you've said for years. She'll try to muffle those snot-nosed tears. She knows I can't stand to hear. Well, Henry's never been much of a flirt, so I never had to worry about him chasing skirt. Him and me is all we need. Henry's new best friend's just an ex-sucker looking for a fix for a holding brother. Me and Henry were just like Bonnie and Clyde. Mad for dead presidents taking on the slide. The only things we ain't got banks in our sights, just cars and friends and hope eyes. Just cars and fiends and hungry eyes. Together. Back in 98 we lived in warmer weather. Just kids with fake IDs. Him and me, that's all we need. One more time, I'd love to thank Moses and Jeff and James for joining me on this gig, on this show. And to Josh running sound out there, really appreciate you. And just before the show, I heard just a tiny little bit of the guys tuning up and getting ready to play out in the lobby, and it sounded so beautiful, and I hope that you guys appreciate all this great music around here. And somebody who I haven't even met saved us and brought us a guitar amp for James to play through. So thank you to your musical community for providing that too. This is gonna be the last one with the band, and then James and I are gonna close out on one last song. But I feel like I should warn you that this cheatin' song, I wrote it many years before I met my Charlie. Just like to make that clear. I wrote it when I was married. It wasn't about me. It's what they all say. September, can't touch your toes, that pavement in the afternoon. It's sweet out front, wondering whether the sins of the summer gonna come catch up with you soon. Never knew no dirt didn't come off in the kitchen, never knew no stain like the one you're hiding now, never knew no man like the one you've been missing, never knew no love could break a love's vow. Never knew no dirt didn't come off in the kitchen. Never knew no stain like the one I'm hiding now. Never knew no man like the one I've been missing. Never knew no love could break love's vow. Well, I can't go back to that water safe. Can't go back to his arms. Can't go down beneath that glass surface. No, I can't dry off in that summer sun. Never knew no dirt didn't come off in the kitchen. Never knew no stain like the one I'm hiding now. Never knew no man like the one I've been missing. Never knew no dirt didn't come off in the kitchen. Never knew no stain like the one I'm hiding now. Never knew no man like the one I've been missing. Never knew no love could break love's vow. Jeff Berlin on the drums, Mose on the bass. Thanks one more time to Deb and Samantha and all the folks who put on this great show today. People serving bar and helping out up front, greeting and giving you information. All these people have given a lot of time and effort to make this day special. Appreciate you guys here. We're going to close out on this song by one of my all-time heroes, Mr. Woody Guthrie. And we would, this song started as a poem about 78 years ago, and it was several years before a man in, I think, Milwaukee set it to music. And then I keep forgetting to re-look this up again, but I think the story goes that he had put it to music and brought it to the attention of Pete Seeger and said, you know, that poem of Woody's, I put it to music and played it for him. And I think the story goes that Pete liked it and said that fits and brought it back to Woody, and they both thought it was a good fit. And both started singing it this way. We wish it wasn't so relevant today, 78 years later, but here we are.
Crops are all in, the peaches are rotten, the oranges are piled in their creosote dome. They're taking you back to the Mexican border to spend all your money just to come back again. My father's own father, he waded that river. They took all the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters all worked in the fruit trees. They rode in those trucks till they laid down and died. Goodbye, my Juan, goodbye, Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesús y María. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deportee.
Yes, some of us are illegal, some just don't want it. Our work contract's up and we gotta move on. You know it's 600 miles to that Mexican border, and they chase us like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. So we died in the hills and we died in the deserts. We die in the valleys and we die on the plains. We'll die neath your trees and we'll die in your bushes. Both sides of that river will die just the same. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita. Adios mis amigos, Jesús y María. You won't have a name, you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deportees.
Skyplane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. A fireball of lightning, it shook all the hills. Who are these friends now scattered like dry leaves? Newspapers said they were just deportees.
So is this the best way to grow our big orchards? Is this the best way to grow our good fruit? To have friends fall like leaves just to rot on the topsoil and be known by no name except deportees. Thank you so much for being here with us. I hope you have a wonderful night. Take care. You guys are so generous. I was like, they're not gonna want me to sing like this again. We weren't prepared for an encore, to be honest.
Do you whisper?
Oh, I can't do that one.
Can't do that.
James had the very good idea of doing my most popular song, which is a love song, and that gives everybody a 4-minute opportunity to snuggle up and hold hands or give each other a loving look in a way that doesn't get you in trouble at the end of the night, like most of my songs. Unfortunately, I don't think I can pull it off right now, to be perfectly honest, with whatever this thing is. But why do y'all have spring so much later than the rest of us? You're like, that's the whole point of the day, dummy. We're just getting through the mud. That is true. Well, I'm gonna do a Guy Clark song. Well, I wish I was in Austin. At the Chili Parlor Bar, drinking Mad Dog margaritas and not caring where you are. But here I sit in Dublin, just rolling cigarettes, holding back and choking back the shakes with every breath. Forgive me all my anger, forgive me all my faults. There's no need to forgive me for thinking what I thought. I loved you from the get-go, I'll love you till I die. I loved you on the Spanish Steps the day you said goodbye. Well, I am just a poor boy, and work's my middle name. And if money was a reason, then I would not be the same. Well, I'll stand up and be counted, and I can face up to the truth. Well, I can walk away from trouble, but I can't walk away from you. So forgive me all my anger, forgive me all my faults. There's no need to forgive me for thinking what I thought. I loved you from the get-go, I'll love you till I die. I loved you on the Spanish Steps the day you said